You already had a vivid picture in your mind of how stunning Liu Yao would look wearing this necklace? A wicked smile appeared on your lips, and without a second thought, you raised your bidding paddle. As soon as the atomic bomb of 300 million dropped, the entire hall went silent, as if everyone's SIM card had been blocked, and Semen blocked. Wu Chang's eyes popped out, and he yelled in a raspy voice, "Oh my goodness, everyone else was bidding in small increments like ants. You just struck him with a 300 million hammer blow. And master, your entire vault only had 300 million in total. Are you gonna hit the streets with a begging bowl now?" Then he smiled slightly and spread his hands. "Alright, you still have your mistress to take care of you, don't you? Don't you?" Then, beating his chest, he said, "Oh my god, someone just give me poison." Meanwhile, Fun Fu was absolutely stunned. He never even dreamed in his wildest fantasies that you would flaunt your wife's money like this. You really set out to squander all of Madame's earnings on settings. Wow, that is truly a remarkable feat. The auctioneer was completely taken aback. The wooden gavel in his hand was trembling as if it were set to vibration mode. Who would dare to challenge this god-level price? Regardless of the necklace's true value, no one had the guts to waste such a fortune on a neck chain. The auctioneer immediately struck the gavel. Done, and done. Congratulations. To the gentleman at seat number 1. By making a massive sacrifice of 300 million, he has claimed the forever love necklace, necklace. God ensure that your business and your love life never face a downturn. Selling a necklace for 300 million was the biggest lottery in that auctioneer's history. From today, this necklace had become the world's most expensive noose. The entire hall was stunned by this explosion, and everyone was staring at you as if an alien had landed. In an instant, you won the hearts of countless wealthy socialites. Such a dashing guy, and on top of that, one with endless money. Which prince has fallen from the sky? The eyes of many rich beauties popped out like marbles. Just like a hungry cat seeing a bucket of cream. The red light of pure greed was flashing in their eyes. You finally got the necklace you were itching for. Cuba wanted to settle all the paperwork right there on the spot. But you stopped him with a wave of your hand. You clearly stated that if you're buying something for your wife, the money must come from your own pocket. Even though 300 million was a huge amount, but to your heart, Liu Yao's value was priceless. You had a solid plan in your mind to kill two birds with one stone. First, to prove that your love for Liu Yao is worth sacrificing everything for. And second, to shut the mouths of those useless pests once and for all in one go. Fu also stared like a fool for a while and then took a long breath. He inwardly accepted that making Mr. Jiang spend the madame's money wasn't as easy as he had thought. Although for Mr. Jiang, starting a company, renting a house, and blowing a few locks on the interior wasn't a big deal. That amount wouldn't even cover the tea and snacks for the servants of a large bungalow. But still, this principle of his was truly something else. In just a short while, you were back on the verge of total bankruptcy, but with that luxury box held in your hand. When you returned to your seat, all the men in the hall burned with envy and the girls began to swoon. You instinctively scanned your surroundings. That's when you remembered that Liu Yao wasn't even sitting next to you here. Feeling a bit awkward, you scratched your head. Man, everything feels so empty without Liu Yao. I feel like putting this necklace around her neck right this instant. But unfortunately, the madam is away on a work trip out of town today. On the other side, Jiang Yue and Lucha were having the biggest seizures of their lives. Both of them knew you had 300 million in your pocket, but they didn't know you would empty the entire treasure in one go. Jiang Yue immediately furrowed her brow and thought, wait, this phony came in a flashy car, didn't he? He just bought a new car, so how could he have 300 million left? Could that car have been a rental? Just to show off here? Thinking this, Jiang Yue's burning heart cooled down a bit and a wicked smile appeared on her lips and But then as she remembered that this piece of jewelry had wasted 300 million of the Jiang family's money, she felt absolutely furious. This wretch spent it all. No, how will this work? I must snatch this necklace back somehow. This is the ancestral property of the Jiang family. Meanwhile, Lucha's brain was busy cooking up a different scheme. She began to wonder, who exactly did this guy buy the necklace for? Could it be for that floozy from the Liu family? No, that couldn't be it. He's only known that woman for a few measly days. How could she possibly compete with a childhood sweetheart like me? Just then, she saw you return to your seat and look around for someone. Elvich's entire body stiffened like a board. Her heartbeat turned into a superfast train. Did Brother Jiang buy this necklace for me? Is he looking for me? Oh my god, Elvicha covered her mouth with her hand. Tears of joy began to trickle from her eyes. She felt like she was drowning in an ocean of love. The drama of the auction continued to unfold. One impressive item after another kept appearing. You didn't even lift a finger again because you didn't have a single penny left in your pocket. Although if you really liked something, you might have raided Liu Yao's bank account. After all, why be ashamed of spending your wife's money? In the final round of the auction, some properties were put up for bidding that caught your attention. You squinted and realized that some of the properties being auctioned belonged to the Biang family. A vicious and cunning smile spread across your face. Well, this is great. Just wait a little longer. If I don't have the entire Jiang family begging on the streets with a bowl, my name isn't Jiang Chen. As soon as it hit 8 p.m., the auction charade ended and it was time for the free booze and food, the cocktail party. The cocktail party. You had never seen a high society party of this level before? On top of that, Liu Yao wasn't home, and it was better to have some fun than stare at the walls and an empty room. So dragging Wu Sheng along, you entered the banquet hall to check out the scene. Check out the scene. The moment you stepped forward, all the cameras and eyes in the hall turned toward you. After all, with the 300 million splash you made today, countless wealthy socialites were drawn to you like magnets, and big families were eager to make your acquaintance. When someone can slam 300 million in cash on the table, the world starts wagging its tail at them. The power of 300 million in cash isn't limited to just its monetary value. The status behind it is immense. Companies with a net worth of 100 billion struggle to produce 300 million in cash, and you had just splurged that much on a single necklace? Many wealthy beauties started coming close, trying to latch onto you. They began showing off all sorts of flirtatious antics. But nothing could escape your eagle eyes. You stepped aside very neatly. Even when they offered you a drink or asked you to dance, you gave a blunt refusal. You knew well that if you flirted with another woman today, you and she would both be crushed tomorrow. That was the level of fear Liu Yao inspired. At the very least, your life was precious to you. Besides, how could these fake and cheap fairies compare to your wife? Wasn't Liu Yao tough? Wasn't she amazing? Even if she did have a loose screw sometimes. But now you loved every one of her quirks. Seeing you act so tough, those rich girls started stomping their feet in anger. But then some women's eagle eyes landed on Wu Sheng standing next to you. People thought that a guy carrying such a big weapon must also be some big shot. Even though Wu Sheng was in very cheap clothes. Still, some girls started trying to flirt with him too. Seeing this, everyone's eyes went wide when Wu Sheng also gave those fairies the cold shoulder. There was a simple reason for that. He could not betray his girlfriend. You smiled and scratched your head, thinking to yourself, this innocent goat, his girlfriend isn't exactly an angel. I will have to cure this Wu Sheng's cataract soon. Otherwise his downfall is certain. Given how time is flying, a storm is coming to his house soon. I must settle this mess quickly. You were still thinking all this when Zhang Yumi dragged Alicia into the hall to create a ruckus. Upon seeing them, your eyes turned cold as ice. Fubo didn't delay and stopped them at the door with his bouncers. Zhang Yumi started hissing right there like a snake. How dare you people? Get out of the way. I need to talk to Jiang Chen. Fubo said in a very stern tone, please stay within your limits. Our young master does not want to talk nonsense with you. Alicia was hiding behind Zhang Yumi, looking at you with deer-like eyes. But then mountain-like guards came in between. When Aleka tried to peek from the left, the guard also moved to the left. The left. When she peeked from the right, the guard moved to the right too. When she looked up, she saw a grumpy old guard staring at her as if he would eat her alive. Lufka somehow swallowed her anger. She didn't want to ruin her innocent girl image in front of you and view, so she forced a sweet smile on her face. Suddenly, a loud scream echoed through the hall. Jiang Chen, you ungrateful dog, have you forgotten your own mother? The hall fell silent due to Zheng Yumei's loudspeaker-like voice. The DJ stopped. The dancers turned into statues right where they stood. Everyone looked on in shock, wondering who this unlicensed woman was. Zheng Yumei's voice was so loud that everyone's attention was drawn to her drama, whether they wanted it to or not. People started whispering among themselves. Such a handsome and wealthy boy, and to treat his mother like this, what a worthless wretch! How could you tolerate this insult? You immediately retorted with a stinging slap-like reply. Hey, you are a cheap, good-for-nothing woman. How dare you call yourself my mother? This one remark of yours silenced Zheng Yumei completely. You challenged her saying you were shouting so loudly, weren't you? Speak now. Let's see whose reputation gets trashed today. Zheng Yumei's face turned as pale as turmeric. She started trembling and had no answer. Because if things went further and people dug deep, she would truly be proven to be just another woman on paper. Sisku. Fubo took his watch out of his pocket. He adjusted it and ordered the guards, pick up this trash and throw it out. The guards moved forward immediately and began dragging both of them like sacks. Elvisha started panicking and wailing. Jiang Chen, brother, I am your Elvicha. Tell them to let me go. Meanwhile, Zheng Yumei started screaming again, showing off her fake attitude. I am the mistress of the Suran group. I am Jiang's real wife. She started making a street-side scene in the middle of the hall. Everyone present in the hall was from the high class. They had never seen such low-class drama. When the hotel's female manager was called, she wrinkled her nose as soon as she arrived. She looked at Zheng Yumei and thought to herself, which uneducated rustic woman in this flashy sari has arrived? Zheng Yumei was boiling with rage. Ever since she married Zhang Yaba, she had never endured such an insult. Let me go, you thugs. We'll destroy this pathetic hotel of yours. You just wait. The hotel manager narrowed her eyes and said to her guards in a cold tone, what are you people watching? A show. Watching a show. Our security team is working so hard dragging them. Why don't you go and give them a hand? The hotel staff was already fed up with the antics of these two. Ever since she arrived, she had been causing nothing but trouble. As soon as the manager gave the order, 4 sturdy employees stepped forward and tossed Jung Yuma and Alvicha out like bags of trash. Not a single person in the hall felt even the slightest bit of pity for Jung Yuma. In fact, many women had such a look of relief on their faces as if their hearts had finally been soothed. This is exactly how such vile people deserve to be treated. Many high society ladies were present there, and they despised the other woman type of people. After throwing out Jung Yuma, the staff updated the manager on everything. The manager looked at you in surprise, realizing you were someone very close to the Liu group. No one had the guts to mess with the Liu group. Even the event organizers were sitting there like scared kittens. The manager wondered, is such a young and sharp guy the main face of the Liu group? Is he the true heir of the Liu family? And why does this face look so familiar? Manager was a very cunning person. She immediately came up to you and buttered you up, saying, "Sir, I am deeply sorry for the trouble caused to you by those peasants. As compensation, we would like to offer you a free diamond membership to this hotel." Diamond membership. The top-class membership of Penghu Hotel. Whoever had this would receive royal VIP treatment. Hearing this from the manager, the entire hall was in an uproar again. Although it wasn't the hotel's fault, they were ready to bow down and were making such a huge offer. People started to gauge your status. For ordinary people, getting this membership was like a dream of 7 lifetimes. You smiled and politely declined. You understood the manager's trick and didn't want to take handouts in the name of the Liu group because later Liu Yao would have to settle all those accounts. The manager sensed your hesitation and whispered softly in your ear, "Mr. Young, Madame Liu Yao is a shareholder in our hotel. You are her beloved husband. Therefore, it is the hotel's duty to serve you, and this card is being presented to you personally, not for the Liu group. So don't worry about it at all." Hearing this, a 440-volt smile lit up your face. "Oh, so this hotel turns out to belong to my wife as well. Then there is no harm in accepting this favor. After all, it is just my wife's property. Anyway, Liu Yao loved to give you gifts. If she finds out, she will be mad with joy." You said, "Alright, that's fine. Thank you." Manager breathed a sigh of relief. "Mr. Jiang, could you please tell me your full name so I can print it on the card?" Sigh. You replied nonchalantly, "My name is Jiang Chen." Upon hearing this name, the pen slipped from the manager's hand. She froze as if she had dropped from 4G to 2G network. "You are Jiang Chen." The manager hurriedly took out her phone and started searching like crazy. As soon as the info hit the screen, she was completely stunned. "Oh my god." You stared at her, speechless. The next moment, the manager knelt and bowed 90 degrees. "Boss. Greetings." This one word shocked the whole hall. Expensive wine glasses slipped and shattered. "Is this kid the real owner of the hotel? You look like a complete fool yourself." "Wait, what did you call me?" "Boss," the manager said in a trembling voice. "Yes, sir, you are our true owner. Even if this is your first visit, your name is registered as the main owner in our system. No wonder I felt such a sense of familiarity when I saw you. You are our provider? Regretfully, I didn't recognize you at first sight. I deserve to be beaten." You looked at Fubo, stunned. Fubo smiled and nodded. It was clear that this hotel was truly your property. The only 7-star hotel in the city was registered under your name. "Luo, what other treasures have you put in my name, my dear?" You were laughing at your own luck, but enjoying it immensely inside. Meanwhile, Wu Sheng and Qintian were standing there holding on to each other. Their eyes were about to pop out of their heads. The women who thought you were just a parasite living off your wife's money. They were swooning over you again, falling in love. So handsome, so rich, and on top of that, owner of a 7-star hotel. How could any ordinary girl be worthy of such a prince? You sensed the change in the atmosphere. You scratched your head awkwardly. "I truly didn't know. Seems my wife gifted me this hotel as well. Anyway, you all should get back to your business." The girls started whispering among themselves. "What do you say? His wife gifted him a 7-star hotel? Old-faced. He is definitely making excuses to get away from beauties like us." The manager handled the situation and sent the staff back to work. You gave Fubo the expensive necklace to take back to the villa so no thief could snatch it, and you stayed back with Wu Sheng. Fubo knew that secret guards were lurking nearby. That is why he left without a care. Chen looked at Wu Sheng and said meaningfully, "Your friend is truly a marvel. The Penghu Hotel is worth at least 5 billion. The mystery of its owner remained until today, and now the veil is lifted." Wu Sheng stood there dazed. "I only just found out myself." Looking at brother Zhang Chen's face, it seems he didn't even know it himself. Just who is his wife, that superwoman, Party atmosphere was set again, but everyone's eagle-eyed stares kept landing on you. Wu Sheng understood that it was best to slip away now because as soon as Fubo left, those hungry foxes were ready to pounce on the prey. Wu Sheng thought it is a brother's duty to remain loyal to his sister-in-law. "I must save my friend from these witches." Although seeing Chen Qintian, his own heart was fluttering a bit too. He couldn't betray his girlfriend. But what's the harm in getting a number? Chen Qintian liked Wu Sheng's shy act. She smiled. "You are such a cute guy. Let's exchange numbers." Wu Sheng hurriedly took out his phone, but instead of the scanner, he opened his payment QR code and shoved it right in Chen Qintian's face. When Chen Qin saw the payment code on the screen, she was stunned. Then, laughing heartily, she took out her phone and scanned it. "How much do you charge to be friends, sir?" When Wusheng looked at his phone, he was speechless. He turned red with embarrassment and immediately fixed his phone to show the right code. They both exchanged numbers. When Wusheng returned to you, you interrupted him saying, "Come on, brother, let's go home now. Let's go home now. We have to attend class tomorrow morning too." Wusheng held his head in his hands. "You're worried about class? It's been so many days since college started. You just showed your face on the first day and then disappeared. And the one time you did show up, you went straight into the principal's cabin to have tea. But when he saw those women coming after you again with their claws out, Wusheng immediately said, 'Yes, let's run from here. There is a very important class tomorrow.' You both bolted out of there at the speed of the wind. You never liked being a zoo monkey in front of people? As soon as you both left, a gossip atom bomb exploded in the banquet hall behind you. Oh my god, that young lad turned out to be the real owner of Pangu Hotel. He looks like a college kid, man. Didn't you hear what he said? His wife gifted it to him. The real mastermind is his wife? How dangerous must that woman be?" Meanwhile, outside the hotel, LV Tian and Zhang Jian had just stepped out of their car when they saw Zhang Yumei and LV Cha lying on the street like trash. When Zhang Yumei tearfully narrated the whole story, LV Tian was completely stunned. "Does Zhang Qian have hotel shares and did he receive 300 million in compensation? LV Tian looked at Zhang Yumei, Zhang Jian, and his daughter, LV Cha. The bug of greed began to crawl in his mischievous mind. If Zhang Qian really sells his shares and drops 300 million in my lap as dowry, then I am ready to marry my daughter, LV Cha, to this guy. But to create a scene from the outside, LV Tian stood outside the hotel and cursed you heavily, until the hotel bouncers chased them away with batons. While leaving, Zhang Jian took the chance to secretly slip a key into LV Cha's hand and whispered something in her ear. LV Cha looked at Zhang Jian in surprise. Zhang Jian nodded with a twisted smile. LV Cha took a deep breath. "Fine, I will go." After this, Zhang Yumei, LV Tian, and Zhang Jian got in the car and scrammed, but LV Cha stayed behind. She sneaked back into the hotel through the back entrance. You and Bu Jiasheng were strolling outside the hotel. Bu Jiasheng's brain was still in shock. "Zhang Qian, brother, tell me the truth. Are you really the owner of this 500 crore hotel, Obdel?" You smiled and nodded. "It seems so. My wife must have given it. I also received this surprise today." Bu Jiasheng clutched his head with both hands. His entire world had been shaken. "Oh my goodness. Tell me the secret spell too, man. What kind of magic do I need to perform to get such freebies? Is there any scope for a poor guy like me?" You stared at Bu Jiasheng. "Focus on your girlfriend. Don't build castles in the air. Bu Jiasheng sheepishly scratched his neck. "Oh, brother, I was just joking. But sister-in-law is truly a goddess, man. Does anyone just give away a 5 billion hotel as a gift?" Wazang scratched his head and asked you with a very simple expression. "Hey, brother, tell me at least, what does your wife actually do?" You replied quite comfortably. "Her profession is just to take care of me." Hearing this, Wazang's head spun and he shouted in frustration. "Man, someone just kill me already. I can't take this anymore. By the way, tell me the truth, my brother. Do you ever intend to live off someone else's dime?" Wazhang then said quite seriously, "I could never betray my girlfriend." You sighed to yourself and thought that this Wazhang is also as blind as you are. When both of you reached the parking lot, your eyes remained wide open in shock. You saw that the same valet boy who handles the cars was sitting on his knees on the ground, sobbing bitterly, and several hotel staff were busy looking for something nearby. You stepped forward and asked, "Hey brother, what happened?" As soon as the boy heard your voice, he immediately lifted his head in fear and the terror was clearly visible in his eyes. He said while trembling, "Sir, please forgive me. I have lost your car keys." He was crying so loudly as if someone had left an innocent child abandoned. You were absolutely stunned. You immediately slapped your forehead and said, "Hey brother, it's just a lost key, right? Stop crying like this in front of me. It feels like I have committed some atrocity against you." As soon as you said this, the boy started crying even louder. You took a deep breath and thought to yourself that it's not even the poor guy's fault. He wouldn't have dropped the key on purpose. It's just a lost key. He didn't crash the car or anything. Anyway, he is an employee of your own hotel. So as the owner, it is only right to show a big heart here. You said very lovingly, "Hey, don't cry, brother. I am not angry with you at all. Just be a bit careful next time." Saying this, you cast your gaze toward your shiny red Ferrari. You looked once, then you looked closely again. "Hey brother, something black and moving is visible inside the car." You squinted and looked. "Hey friend, just take a look and see if there is some ghost or spirit sitting inside the car." Buzang also widened his eyes in suspicion and said, "Oh, no master, this looks like a human. You approached the car in astonishment, and as soon as you opened the door in doubt, you were stunned. Inside, Elvicha was lying there, almost naked in minimal clothing, staring at you with seductive eyes. Without wasting a second, you slammed the car door shut right in her face and shouted loudly, "Hey, what kind of nonsense is going on in your hotel? Who let this naked woman into my car? What is the meaning of this?" Hearing your roar, everyone searching for keys in the parking lot pricked up their ears and ran toward you. You. The valet boy also came running in shock, and as soon as he opened the side door, his eyes fell on Elvisha. Without wasting any time, he shouted in anger, "Hey, how did you get inside? Did you steal the key?" Elvisha was left dumbfounded. She had never dreamed that despite sitting in the car in such a killer style, you wouldn't even acknowledge her and would call her out in front of everyone. She had woven all sorts of romantic stories in her mind, but you completely ruined her plan. She had been thoroughly humiliated. Elvisha immediately covered her face with both hands out of shame. While the car key was still dangling from her fingers, the valet boy snatched the key from her hand and shouted, turning red with anger. "You thief, I almost lost my job because of you. You." He immediately handed the key to you and started dragging Elvisha out by her arm. "Hey thief, get down! You almost got me killed. You stood there holding the key, lost in thought. Is this key even fit to be touched now? Did Elvisha do something weird with this key? Given the kind of woman she was, one could expect anything." Meanwhile, as the valet boy was trying to drag Elvisha out, she started crying and pleading. "Hey, stop this nonsense. I am not a thief. Brother Jiangchen is my own. I am Elvisha." When Bujang heard Elvisha's voice, he was completely stunned. He immediately came to you and said, "Hey brother, take it easy and control your emotions." You glared at Buzhang with a stern look. He was becoming more dramatic by the day. Just then, the valet boy's temper reached the seventh heaven. He pulled Elvisha out and slapped her hard and slap. And he shouted, "Hey you vile woman, why did you steal my keys?" Elvisha looked at the boy with teary eyes, holding her cheek. "How dare you? Raising your hand at a woman? Oh, you might be a lady at your house, but you are a thief of the first order." Saying this, the boy landed a second slap on her other cheek. From that sharp slap, Elvisha's head turned 90 degrees and her eyes landed straight on you. Rivers of tears began to flow from Elvisha's eyes. She started begging while crying. "Yongchen brother, I just love you very much. I was missing you so much. When you bought that Forever Love necklace today, I thought it was just for me. I got very emotional. That is why I was waiting for you in the car." The valet boy was stunned to hear all this. He looked at Elvisha's skimpy clothes. Then he looked at you, sighed, and said nervously, "Oh master, have I made a huge mistake again?" You held your head and helplessly said to yourself, "I'm doomed. This world has gone completely crazy." Elvisha moved towards you, crying. Her state was such that everything was clearly visible through her thin clothes. But you immediately stepped back to save yourself and, completely ignoring the scene, said to the valet boy, "Listen brother, the 2 slaps you just landed were spot on. Go tell your manager that I, Young, have asked to give you a special bonus. Hearing this, the boy was overjoyed. One moment he feared losing his job, and the next he was getting a hefty reward for just slapping a shameless woman twice. He said happily, "Thank you, master. Should I beat her some more? If she calls the police, I am ready to go to jail too. I'll beat her again once I'm out." You smiled and said, "No, that's not needed anymore. You go." The boy went away dancing with his colleagues. Here, Elvisha was crying while holding her swollen cheeks. "Young Chen brother, if getting me beaten calms your anger, then go ahead and beat me. Go ahead and beat me. But don't you love me? The necklace you bought today was for me, wasn't it?" A shiver ran down your body. You felt that something terrible was about to happen. You looked into Elvisha's eyes, which were filled only with obsession and madness. In a cold, lethal tone, you simply said, "Get lost," and shoved her away hard. You reached your beloved Ferrari. But as soon as your gaze fell on the passenger seat where Elvisha had left her clothes, you felt nauseous. Ugh, is this car even worth driving anymore? Without a second thought, you immediately tossed the keys to Wu Zhisheng. "Your brother car is tainted now. It's yours." Wu Zhisheng stood there holding the keys like a stone statue. He forgot everything and started stammering. "Thank you, master." But you had no idea that a bodyguard hidden in the shadows was watching this entire drama unfold. As soon as he knew you had come downstairs, he had reached the parking lot and heard all of Elvisha's antics and dialogue. "Don't you love me? You bought this necklace for me, didn't you?" Seeing Elvisha in so few clothes, the bodyguard's soul trembled. He thought, "Oh my god, Master Jiang is in big trouble now." Without delay, he immediately dialed Liu Yao and reported the entire situation exactly as it happened. As soon as Liu Yao got the bodyguard's call, she lost her mind. She immediately sped away from the old mansion at full speed. Meanwhile, in the parking lot, Elvisha realized that your eyes held only hatred for her. There was no love at all. Sobbing, she grabbed her clothes and ran away from there to there. Wu Zisheng watched Elvisha run and shook his head, saying, "Oh my god," Brother Jiang Chen, I realized today just how shameless and brazen this woman is. You said solemnly you will encounter many more specimens like her in the future. Wu Zisheng sadly rubbed his stomach. "Man, I thought there would be great food at the party. That's why I've been hungry since evening. There was only alcohol and pastries floating around. How do such rich people live on an empty stomach?" You smiled and said, "Brother, I was thinking the same thing." I also stuffed my stomach with 4 cakes. Now I'm getting acidity. Both friends laughed, looking at each other. You started heading back inside the hotel? So Wu Zhisang asked, "Hey, where are you going?" Waved your hand and said, "Alvija has sat in that car. I've lost my appetite for it. We'll go home in another hotel car." The Jason could not contain his joy. With the keys of the gleaming Ferrari in his hand, he had nothing to do with Alvicha. He had received a supercar for free. When you reached inside the hotel, the manager himself offered to drop you home. But you flatly refused because she was a woman and you didn't want to raise any suspicion with Liu Yao. You told the manager, "Send the CCTV footage of the parking lot to my phone immediately and send that same valet boy to drop me home." The manager immediately called for a commercial Mercedes, and the same crying boy began driving to take you to your massive villa farmhouse. As soon as the car entered the main gate of the villa, the valet boy was stunned. The band. His eyes were wide open in disbelief. "Oh my god, what kind of palace is this? I have seen the wealthiest people living in bungalows.